All right, everyone should be on page 26 in your packet. Responsibilities of U.S. citizens. We're going to do this really quickly so you do not have time to be doing anything else. Ready? The person on the right-hand side, we do this all the time. You're going to read the first paragraph. Citizenship involves. The person on the left-hand side, you're going to read the second paragraph. You'll have 60 seconds, and I'm going to wait. Ready, set, and go. You better be reading. Okay, your time is up. And there is a typo in here. This should not say democracy. We don't use that word in this class. In 8th grade history, we don't use the word democracy. We use representative government. Okay, I'm going to go quickly. Pick up your pencil. Let's go. Required responsibilities are. I'm just going to type it in here because I don't have my document camera. So here we go. So required responsibilities are something Americans must do or they get in trouble. So, something Americans must do, or I really, American, or not get on your nerves because I just changed this. Required responsibilities are something citizens must do or they get in trouble. So, you have to follow the laws or you go to jail. They are things you have to do or you get in trouble. Active responsibilities are something citizens should do but don't have to. Okay, active responsibilities I put that twice, are something citizens should do but they don't have to. These are, and we'll look at examples right now. So you should have this written in. I'm going quick. I have it in bold. You've got it written down. Let's go. Okay, so let's look at examples of this. So, pay taxes to help support the costs of the government. That we talked about this before because I said, what happens if you don't pay your taxes when you're grown up? You go to jail. Well, some other things happen first, but after they've tried everything, you go to jail. We all have to pay taxes. Not a bad thing. It's how we're able to do a lot of things in America. So you're going to put an R for required. Now, vote in elections. Is that required or is that something? So, is that something you must do or you get in trouble? Or is it something citizens should do but don't have to? Yell it out. Let's hear it. Okay, you are correct. If you said A for active, we actually do not have to vote in elections. We talked about this when we learned about republicanism. We have some lazy grown-ups who do not vote in elections. They just kind of stay home and let everyone else take care of it. So that is active. Okay, I'm going to give you a minute and a half, 1 minute and 30 seconds to read these and put an R and an A. And guess what? If you're wrong, no big deal. You simply will just scratch it out and fix it when I go over it. You have 1 minute and 30 seconds to put R or A. Ready, set, and go. Okay. Time is up. Here we go. Let's see if you were right or wrong and you understand what a citizen should do versus what they have to do or they get in trouble by the law. Stay informed on public issues. Some people live on a rock. Some grown-ups, oh, we're at war. Oh, we're voting for election day. I didn't. We're voting for president day. I didn't know. But guess what? Just because you are completely uninformed, you won't go to jail for that. So that's what an active citizen does. Serve on a jury if called upon to serve. Guess what? Required. You don't have a choice. And I don't know what grown up was in the room when we learned about the Bill of Rights. Miss Grissom can tell you a great story how she had to serve on a jury for 3 weeks. Your job cannot fire you. It is against the law. So if I went to jury duty, so again, if a grown up in the room wants to tell you, ask grown ups if they've ever gone to jury duty, what their experience was, and if they've ever been called on a jury. I already told you I've gotten out of every single jury duty because I've always either been in college or had a child under 5. There are other reasons you don't have to go to jury duty if you're taking care of an elderly person, if you have a certain medical condition, or else, yeah, you don't have a choice. Miss Grissom said, look, I can't go on this jury. I have to pick up my kids every day from school. I have to take them to baseball practice. And the judge said, too bad. This is your responsibility of a citizen. You don't have a choice. So you are required to serve on a jury. Y'all will deal with this when you turn 18. Well, you're required to go to jury duty. And if you're chosen, you are required to serve on that jury. You don't have a choice. Attend school in order to receive an education. Attend. Now, college, you don't have to go to, but it is the law that you receive an education in the United States of America. Volunteer to serve in the nation's armed forces or some other public service. That is active. You do not have to do that. Take an active interest in the government by learning about its activities. As a grown up, you don't have to do that. That's what a good citizen does. Testify in a court of law if called upon to present evidence. That is required. You have to, if you are called upon to testify, um, you have to do that. That's called like a subpoena. Obey the laws of your community, state, and federal government. Yes, you do. If you do not obey the laws, guess what? You get in trouble. So Miss Thomas doesn't stop at the stop sign. That's a law. You have to stop all the way. I don't drive through them. I just roll. Some of them don't stop all the way. And, so the policeman pulls me over and I get a ticket. Um, respect others people's point of view. That's a nice thing. That's something a citizen should do. But guess what? Does everyone respect everyone's point of view? No. There are people. So that is an active thing someone should do. So good citizens do that, but they all do. But not everybody does. Okay. So that's what your answer is. We are moving on. That was quick, right? So just know that citizens must serve on a jury. They must follow laws. Uh, those are some basic things citizens have to do. Okay? Got it? Done. Moving on. Guess what this next part we're doing? It's one of the hardest parts of the school year. So you know, but don't watch. Watch this. I'm not when we're going over tests and I say, this is really easy. You should feel bad if you got this one wrong. Okay. These questions are typically really hard. And I tell you, you know what? If you got this one wrong, don't worry, because when I saw the question on the STAR test for the first time, I had to make sure I was correct by looking at the answer key. So do not worry if you get these wrong. That's why I'm going to go through it really fast, super fast. You don't have time. So I need you to tell me what a grievance is right now. Yell it out. What's grievance mean? What does it mean? Someone better said complaint. I hope someone's on this planet. It's a complaint. Grievance is a complaint. How were the complaints listed in the Declaration of Independence addressed in the U.S. Constitution? So I'm going to say this fast. This is smart. The writers of the Constitution said, you know what we hate about government? We made a list of it in the Declaration of Independence. Genius. Let's pull that piece of paper out. Because at this time it wasn't in a museum yet. They had tons of copies. So Declaration of Independence, they pull it out and say, well, we wrote all of these things we hate. How can we make or create a law or create a government to make sure those things can never happen to us again. Genius idea. So remember, the Declaration of Independence is a breakup letter. If you broke up with someone, said, I can't stand how you chew really loud. I can't stand how you don't take a shower every day. I can't stand how you always have something in your teeth. I can't stand how you're always late. These are the reasons I'm breaking up with you. So then when you go to date someone else, you might ask them, you brush your teeth every day? Take a shower? Do you chew really loud? You would want to make sure the next person doesn't have these issues. So we're making sure our next government doesn't have these issues. So let's get started. Here's the grievance. Here's what we learned about in the Declaration of Independence. Here's the list. So I'm sorry, but you should be on page 27. So get to that page. I know I'm going fast. Okay, and then here on page 28 is how it's dealt with in the Constitution. Okay, so we're going to do this super quick. All you have to write is what's in bold. See on page 28 how there are parts in here in bold? That's so we can do this a lot quicker. So let's just get started with an example. Here's the complaint in the Declaration of Independence. Here's how we're going to address it in the Constitution. Remember, these are two different pieces of paper. Don't you ever get confused. The Bill of Rights is part of the Constitution, but on a separate sheet of paper. Don't you tell me the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution are the same thing. I have quizzes to make sure that you don't get confused. This is not my first time. I know what you're going to mess up on. Taxation without representation for imposing taxes on us without our consent. How do they address this in the Constitution? Make sure that taxes cannot be created without their consent. One of these is your answer. So I'm just going to tell you which one it is so that it can be an example and we can go a bit faster. The Congress shall have the power to lay and collect taxes, to pay debts, and provide for the common defense. Congress, the group where everyone votes for them. That's how we make sure. I've never wrote in a tax law in my life, but the congressman I voted for do. So here's what you're going to write. Congress shall collect taxes to pay debts and provide for common defense. You are going to write that right here. You got it? I'm going to scroll back down so you don't have to flip-flop. So look, right here, you're going to start typing this. So here we go. In that line, I'm putting it on the screen right now in that top box, right? Congress shall, only put what's in bold, collect taxes to pay the debts and provide for the common defense. Write that down in that box. Okay, if I do go too fast, your teacher can pause the video, but I'm going to keep going. I'm going to cross this one out because I've already used it, so I'm crossing it out. You should do the same. Let's go to the next one. Absolute power of the king for abolishing the free system of English laws so as to render it at once an example and fit instrument for introducing the same absolute rule into these colonies. Now that might be a little bit harder for some of y'all to do, but for abolishing the free system of English laws, how do we make sure that the person in charge can't just get rid of laws and say we're not having them? The correct answer to that one is every bill which shall have been passed, every law which shall have been passed by the House of Representatives and Senate shall become a law, be presented to the President of the U.S. If he approved, he shall sign it, but if not, he shall return it. So that the House of Representatives gets to make the laws, not the President. The President can approve them or not approve them. And even if he doesn't approve them, if enough people in the House of Representatives and the Senate vote to have that law, we don't need the president's approval. So in this box right here, in this box, you are going to write what's right here in bold. Ready? So I'm going to have it on the screen, but you're actually on page 27. You're going to put every bill passed be presented to the president. He approve, but if not, he shall return it. Write what's in bold in that box on page 27. Go. Here, I'm going to move this up a little bit. There, so you can see that. Just write what's in bold. Okay, if your teacher needs you to pause, go ahead, but I'm moving on. I told you this is going to go fast. I'm going to cross that out just like you should, so we know which choices we have left. Okay, going to the next one. Colonists not allowed to speak against the king. So, and this happened in many countries, and it's like that in North Korea today. He has dissolved representative houses repeatedly for opposing his invasions on the rights of people. So, in easier terms, colonists can't say anything bad about the king. Well, can people say bad things about the president today? Oh, yes, they can. And oh, yes, they do. We have, it is our right to criticize our leadership. We are allowed to do that. So, how did we make sure, which one of these in the Constitution, did we make sure we are allowed to criticize the king? The king, sorry, we don't have a king, the president. Which one gives us the freedom to say what we want about our government? Which one? Blurt it out. Amendment 1, we put freedom of speech into the Bill of Rights, which is part of the Constitution. So you're going to put this right here. Freedom of speech, press, the right of the people to peacefully assemble and petition. You have to write everything that's in bold right in here. So I'm going to scroll down for you so you can just copy it. Ready, set, and go. And I have your long-term teacher. I will be meeting her and talking to her. These are things I grade. So we did this together. So these should be easy 100s on stuff like this we do in class. So you should be writing this down. Okay. If it needs to be paused, pause it, or else guess what? I'm going to cross it out. Are you done? Ready? And you should write it out, whatever I put in bold. Okay, I'm crossing it out. Okay, so look, there's 3 more. And actually, they're all amendments. So they're part in the Bill of Rights. See, if it says Article 1, those are in the Constitution part. The Bill of Rights, again, think of it as a piece of paper we stapled to the Constitution because we added it later because those anti-federalists fought for it. Way to go, anti-federalists. Okay, you're going to try these 3. And I know you can do it because y'all are all capable. This is why I know every single one of you are capable every year. Y'all improve and do so good on your social studies tests. Okay, quartering act forced colonists to house troops. Eek. Colonists' homes could be searched without a warrant. No trial by jury of peers was assured. Okay. How did we make sure that none of these are things we hated, why we broke up with Great Britain? How do we make sure that our new government couldn't do these things? See if you can match them to the 3 that we have left. And I'll leave this on the screen. Do that. I would talk it out with a partner. Get it done. You should be able to do this in 2 minutes. Go. 30 seconds. Okay, time's up. Here we go. So the next one, Quarter Act, forced colonists to house their troops. They hated this. So how do they make sure that we're creating the government? So we're deciding what the government can and can't do. So guess what we did? What did we put in there? You should have the Third Amendment. No soldier shall be quartered. That's all you had to write in that box. No soldier shall be quartered, meaning they can't, you're like sleeping quarters, they can't sleep in your house. So you should have that one right in this box. Okay. If you don't fix it, colonist home could be searched without a warrant. People just search your things. Any British soldier could just go through your stuff, take your things. They don't need any reason, nothing. They just do it. How did we make sure that our new government could never do that without a warrant? Well, we made a rule for it because we're making the government. We're making a new government. We get to make the rules. Against that's the Fourth Amendment. So against unreasonable search and seizures, you'll write that. No warrant shall issue but upon probable cause. So you want to search, you can, but you better have a warrant or probable cause, like you can see the dead body through the window. So you'll write this in that box. Which only leaves us one. The last one, no trial by jury of peers was assured. So that means only a judge. You never want one person to decide your fate. You want a group of people to talk about it and come to the best decision. So how did we make sure that we will have a jury? We wrote that in there. Constitution also in the Bill of Rights. Speedy and public trial with jury, with impartial jury. I wish I was there so we could get off task and talk about what an impartial jury is. But juries are picked. They try and pick people that are not going to be biased already towards the trial at hand. There's so much I wish I could say, but I don't have time to. So speedy and public trial by an impartial jury. We wrote that into the Sixth Amendment to make sure that we get a jury by our peers. We put that in the Sixth Amendment and the Seventh, but remember, you don't have to do the Seventh. Okay, guess what? Congratulations. You are done with that. Good job. Write a report card. Guys, we are done. Congratulations. We are done with the Constitution. We are just going to review, but finish this part because the drafters, the writers of the Constitution, which the Anti-Federalists had a part in because they had a huge part in the Bill of Rights. So how do you think they did? We're done writing the Constitution. We have all the articles done. We are going to get everyone to sign it. The drafters of the Constitution reserve a what grade? Guys, we still use it today, but do they deserve an A, B, C, D, F? Because we're done. Why do you think the Constitution obviously, look, use this graphic organizer. They thought they covered all their bases. We did great with the Bill of Rights, making sure we would address from the Declaration of Independence, we broke up with a bad government. We made sure a new government would be great. So give them, the writers, the drafters of the Constitution, a grade of how they did on writing the Constitution right. Why? This is all you really have time for, probably today. I'm just going to grade this part. Just fill in this sentence. Yep, that's all you have to do. And then you have completed the Constitution. I am going to have reviews, and we will go over your brain drain starting tomorrow. I will get that posted for you. If you are done early, you better practice those hand signals now. You better, boom, with a partner, be able to describe your Bill of Rights and write down every single one. We'll go over this tomorrow. But if you want to go ahead and try, you are more than welcome. We'll do this a lot. But right now, if you're done early, again, make sure you know your Bill of Rights. Congratulations. You're done learning about the Constitution. Great job, everybody.